Hey guys, before we get started with the video, I just wanted to say something really quickly. I've been having an issue with a memory card I was previously using, one that I used to record this video, and for some reason, every time I edit the video in my software, I will edit it completely. I will watch it before I download it. Everything will be fine, but then all of a sudden when I upload it into YouTube, there's a random place where the video will freeze for 1 minute or less. I don't know why this is happening. As you can imagine, it's extremely annoying, frustrating, and disheartening to do all this work just for your video to end up freezing. And I know it confuses you guys when that happens. So I've switched cards, like I said, but this is one of those videos where I use that card. So if it does happen here, just give it a minute or less and the video will be back up. I am so sorry in advance, but I love you if you continue to watch. Okay, thank you. Bye.
The problem is that when people get together, when people start drinking, when the sun comes up and they drink until the sun goes down, that's when shit goes left, and left it went. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Leah Laura, and I'm back at it again with another video. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make videos, Storytime hauls. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, science light for the kids. You know the vibes. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey friend, how are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, fabulous, beautiful, amazing. Whether or not you're new here or you're a returning subscriber, don't forget to hit that like button. Liking the video helps me a lot. It helps other people just like you see my videos. It helps me get into algorithm. So if you like what you see, if you're gonna like what you see, if you have seen this before, then give your girl a big like. Also, if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe button is also free, girl, and I'm pretty sure you've seen me before. So if you have and you've liked what you see, then
spin a bless.
Welcome back to Storytime Sunday. It is Storytime Sunday, everybody's favorite day in the week, and I'm back with another one because y'all know how it gets around here. Okay, y'all know that anytime I step outside, anytime I say I want to go outside and be free and be me and try a new thing, you know, every single time I try to go outside, shit goes left. I am the Khloe Kardashian of my world. You see what I'm saying? Every time I go outside and I try to be anybody except my introverted self, something goes left. And today is no different. So let's get into it. So this story takes place back in my senior year of college. In my senior year of college, as some of you probably know, if you're not new here, I worked as a supervisor at our state. Our like fall semester, every single year we have this thing called Juice Jam, which is basically held in like a really big field. It's kind of like baby Coachella, if you want to think about it that way. There's food, there's sponsors, there's free stuff, giveaways, there's like vendors and stuff like that, and there's all these different artists they come to perform. My freshman year we had Schoolboy Q, we had Tinashe, we had like a bunch of different people. We've had a lot of really big headliners come perform at Syracuse. Actually, in the end of April, beginning of May, we have this thing called Mayfest, and Mayfest is kind of the same thing as Juice Jam, except there's two parts. So in the beginning you have that like kind of field event, and then in the afternoon you have this concert called Block Party at the stadium. And Block Party is the same thing where you have like a really big headliner come in. So it's kind of like the same event held at the beginning and the end of every school year. I say all of this to say that I did have to work both of those events. However, in my senior year, the exception was that seniors did not have to work Mayfest or Block Party because it's kind of like their last hurrah. So they say like, you know, go outside, do your big one, do your shit, and leave. So I didn't have to work Mayfest or Block Party, so I was super excited because I never actually got to attend any of them. Yes, I worked that event, but I never got to sit there and be there as a guest and like not work. So I was super excited, and I was already planning to go and do my big one, but some things happened that made me kind of want to do it on a bigger scale. So let's take a step back into like the beginning of April. My birthday is at the beginning of April, and I am not really a big birthday person. This held true all throughout college. I never really did anything for my birthday, never really celebrated my birthday or anything like that. But in my senior year, I kind of wanted to make a little bit of a shift because again, this is my last year in college. Why not do it and do it big, right? So in my senior year, my closest friend who I've known since middle school, and her friend came to visit me. For the story, we're going to call my close friend Alara, and we're going to call her friend Melinda. Alara and I have known each other since middle school, as I said, and Alara and Melinda have known each other since college. So they met freshman year of college, and they've been best friends ever since. Melinda and my senior year roommate have known each other since middle school. So my best friend was her best friend type shit. So that's how we all kind of know each other, and that's where they come in. So for my birthday, Alara and Melinda came over just for the weekend, you know, to celebrate my birthday with me and stuff like that. And we kind of did a few things. So I know we went to Cheesecake Factory because I loved Cheesecake Factory back then. I still do love the Cheesecake Factory. So we went to the Cheesecake Factory, we went to like a party or something like that, and then the weekend was over. I was at the time a part of an organization, and in the organization, every time somebody had a birthday, like every single person that was part of that birthday, we threw them a surprise party. And it wasn't like a really big surprise party. It wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't done at a club. It wasn't on a really, really big scale and nothing like that. But it was like, you know, we get you a cake, we get you like a bottle or two and stuff like that. And then we all sit in the living room. We all wait for you to come and we all say surprise. It's not that much of a surprise because you know it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. Like, we all get that thing, like I said. So it's not that much of a surprise, but it is something that everybody gets. So, my birthday rolls around, and although I kind of know that something like this might come, I'm not really expecting it. As I just said, I'm not somebody who really celebrates my birthday, and so I don't really, back then at least, I did not really expect anything to do anything big for my birthday. So I was kind of like not really sure what it was gonna give as far as that thing went. My birthday rolls around and Alara and Melinda are there, and I just remember that Saturday that we went out, they kept saying like, oh, like let's go out, let's go pregame before we go out, let's go to a party, let's do all of this. I didn't want to go to a party. I never want to go to a party, okay? I'm the type of person that the only type of parties I want to go to is like summer day parties and also like Caribbean Feds during Carnival Week. Other than that, don't call me, don't text me, don't invite me. I don't want to go out. I don't want it. I don't want it. You know, even though I didn't want to go out, because they were my guest and because they came from their school to celebrate my birthday, I was like, you know what, that's fine, let's go out. So I agreed to go out, but they kept badgering me. They kept saying like, you know, let's go pregame at so-and-so's house. Let's go. Like, it'll be really quick. They live right there. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, let's go, let's drink, and then we'll go to the party, and then we'll come back home as soon as you want. You know, they kept trying to convince me to do this. So finally I gave in and I say, okay. We walk over to the person's house. At the time I lived on South Campus, which is kind of like a housing apartment complex type of situation for students in Syracuse. So I lived in South Campus, and we walked over to the other person's apartment. I walk in, everybody's like, surprise, 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 surprise. If you guys watch my birthday story time, then you already heard this part. But, you know, I walk in, I'm surprised, I'm like happy. I see some of the people who are part of my organization there, and I'm like, oh my God, like I can't believe you guys did this for me. And even though, like I said, I was kind of expecting it a little bit, I was still genuinely surprised. Like, I literally did not know why Melinda and Alara kept badgering me to go. I was just like, what is this about? I'm not gonna name anybody anything, but the person who was in charge basically of throwing me the thing, we're just gonna call her friend. So I walk over to friend and I give her a hug and I'm like, hey friend, like, hey girl. And she's like, oh my God, happy birthday. You look so nice. Like, happy birthday. I love you. I love you. Love you. Da da da. And she gives me my bottle and she's like, here's your cake. Like, we really tried our best on it. There was something wrong with the cake. I forgot what, but they were like really sad about it. They were like, oh my God, your cake is messed up. Like, we're sorry. And I'm like, no, 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 it's good. Like, I love it. It's beautiful. It's perfect. So I'm looking around the room and I'm noticing that some people are missing. Some people are missing. And I'm like, oh, friend, where's so-and-so? Where's da-da-da? Like, I'm asking her where some people are, and she's like, girl. And I'm like, what? Like, what happened? So she tells me that she messaged this specific group of people that you would expect to be there for me because they were the closest to me in the organization, so to speak. She said she messaged them on the group me. She messaged them separately. When she saw them on campus, she all told them to come to my surprise party and nobody said anything. When she saw them in person, they said, okay, yeah, okay. But when she messaged them in a group meet, nobody said anything. But she still kind of expected them to come because, like I said, these are the people kind of closest to me in the organization. So when they didn't show up, she was like, oh shit, that's grimy as hell. Like, why wouldn't they show up? Now, I'm not the type of person that's really outspoken. I'm not really extroverted. However, what I am is super, super supportive. In my senior year, I was so busy. I was seconds from crashing out every single day. You see what I'm saying? Like, mental breakdowns. I was in so many different organizations. I was on the executive board for one of them, which is the Caribbean Students Association. That's going to come up later in the story. I was taking all these super, super hard classes. I was trying to close out my second degree and make sure that I had everything I needed to pass that class. I was taking like, honors classes, so I was taking a capstone. I had to write a thesis. I was also part of somebody's lab. Like, I was a very, very busy person in my senior year of college. And so the fact that I still found the time to, you know, go to people's houses for at least 15-20 minutes until the person walked through the room to say, surprise, happy birthday, I hope you have a great day. People who I wasn't even close with really in the organization, I still took time out my day. Big test coming up, work the next day, lab the next day, running on 2 hours of sleep. I had really bad insomnia my senior year. I still made it to these people's houses. And the fact that you could not make it to my surprise for even 5-10 minutes, you're weird. You're weird. And I don't want to hear anything about that. So she's telling me how they didn't show up. And I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Like, I'm not going to think anything of it. I felt away in the moment, but I was just like, you know what? I'm going to have a good birthday. These people do not determine how well my birthday goes. So, you know, I drank my bottle. I eat my cake. I thank my friend again for throwing me the stuff. I say hi to all the guests who came for my birthday. And then at some point, like me, Melinda, Alara, and I think my roommate came, Rumi. We all left and we went to a frat party. We went to a frat party and I didn't really want to be there. Like I said, I don't really like parties, and I especially did not like frat parties. So we went to the frat party. We walk in. It's in somebody's apartment. It's like, no, it wasn't in their apartment. It was at their frat house. So we walk into their frat house. All the lights are kind of off. They're playing like slow grind music. Is I said, ew. Brother, ew, what is going on? It's all types of weird shit going on in the corner. I'm trying to figure out who that is over there. And I don't know what's happening. It's dark. And I just feel bodies. So it's kind of like I'm touching things. You know, it feels like a scene in A Quiet Place a little bit. And I'm uncomfortable at this point. I don't like the music. It's giving freaky deaky, you know, let's get it on type of music. No. I don't want to be here. So I'm looking around and I'm like, this is not for me. I'm not interested. People are being weird and I want to go home. So I turned to Laura and I'm like, hey girl, kind of want to go home. And she's like, oh really? And I'm like, yeah, I want to go home. I'm like, no, but you do not have to go. She came from her school. I'm not gonna let you cut your night short because I'm antisocial, you know what I mean? So I was like, no, stay with Melinda, stay with Rumi. Like, I'll go home, I'll get on the bus, I'll be fine. She's like, are you sure? I'll come with you. I said, no, stay here, have a good time. I'm gonna text you when I'm home. Like, Rumi has a key, obviously. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it, girl. It's cool. So Alara, Rumi, and Melinda, they stay, and I get ahead and I get on the bus. I think I said this in my story time about that day, but I was really, really angry at my boyfriend at the time because he did not come to visit me. So I'm on the phone blacking on him, and I'm pretty sure he did something else to piss me off that time because he always did. So I'm on the phone blacking at him on the bus, and you know, people are on the bus looking at me like. And I'm yelling at this man. And then I get up because I just drank a whole bottle, which was like a tradition that we did in my organization. I drank the whole bottle. I get up and I'm stumbling off and I'm like, good night, good night, good night to the bus driver. And I get off and I'm like looking both ways as much as I could, still blacking on this man. So I get home, I get in my bed, I fall asleep, and then that was that. That was my birthday. That was the first week of April. And then fast forward, I think like 2 weeks after that, I was taking my pictures for my senior year. So I was taking my graduation pictures. So I'm on the quad and I'm taking my pictures, and then all of a sudden from the distance, the corner of my eye, I see two of the people who are part of my organization, some of the closest people to me in that organization, and I see them. I'm ignoring them because you ain't had shit to say to me. I ain't had shit to say to you. And that's just what that is. You know what I mean? I'm not a confrontational person. If I see you and I know you did something to me, I'm not going to bring it up because I don't have the time to waste on this conversation. So I'm taking my pictures. You know, I'm listening to the photographer. She's like trying to get me in the mood to take my pictures and stuff like that. And we're just like laughing and talking. And so at some point, myself, the photographer, and then the two people from my organization, we kind of come closer to each other in where we were taking pictures. And, you know, they say, hey, Leah. And I'm like, hey. And they were like, oh, your birthday was like a few weeks ago, right? And I'm like, yeah. My thing is, you knew it was my birthday. You know how I knew you knew it was my birthday? Because I was posting about my birthday on Instagram. I was posting about my birthday on Snapchat. You saw people in the group me say happy birthday to me. You were invited to my birthday party and you did not come. You knew it was my birthday. So why now are you sitting here in front of my face asking me if it was my birthday? I play with you? Is you cool? So I'm standing there and I'm like, Yeah, yeah, it was my birthday. They're like, oh, happy birthday. Who is this for? Who is this for? Why are you telling me happy birthday? I don't need it. I'm cool. I'm cool. But I still say, oh, thank you. Like the lady that I am, like the classy lady I am, I say thank you. And then I continue on my way and they continue on their way. And you know what? Because that was such a weird birthday for me, you know, the next day I got into, on my actual birthday, actually, I got into it with some people at my job. It was just not a good birthday for me. So I was like, you know what? Mayfest is coming up. Block party is coming up. Like, why don't I do a birthday redo? I already knew that Alara and Melinda were going to come because they... I already knew that Alara and Melinda were going to come because they come every single year for Block Party Mayfest. So knowing that they were going to come and knowing that I had a terrible birthday and I wanted a birthday redo, I go up to Rumi and I'm like, hey Rumi, like, do you want to invite Alara and Melinda over for like a really big weekend during Mayfest so that we could really do our shit, like have fun, like turn up type shit.
I forgot to mention this, but it's actually very important. Another reason why it was the perfect weekend for them to come over, besides the fact that it was Mayfest and Block Party, is that it was also Melinda's birthday weekend, on top of it being the Caribbean Student Association's flag party, which is like their biggest party of the year. So we had 3 major events, and so that made it like the perfect weekend for them to come.
So she's like, yes, 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 like let's do it. Also, previously, like a few months before this, back in October, so the fall semester, me and Rumi had actually went to their campus for their whole homecoming, which is another story time that I'm gonna tell y'all because that shit was weird too. But anyway, so I'm like, yeah, like let's just do it. So she's like, oh my god, like yes. So she agrees. We go grocery shopping, you know, we get like we get plates, we get cups, we restock the kitchen, we restock the fridge, we invite them, they say yes. We go online and we get our tickets for Block Party. So I get my tickets. Unfortunately, by the time I got into the portal, me and Alara had to end up on the first floor because all the floor level tickets were kind of sold out. It's either that or I didn't want to stand on the floor because I didn't want to be on my feet the whole day, knowing that like we were gonna be drinking, I was gonna be tired, like type shit, stuff like that. I don't remember which one it was. It probably was that I didn't want to stand. I'm not gonna lie. It probably was that I didn't want to stand. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, she and I were on the first floor and everybody else was on the floor level. The weekend rolls around and our friends come over. Melinda, Alara, and I think 4 of their friends came over for that weekend. So, you know, they come in, we're like, hey, oh my god, you guys are here, like she's gonna be lit, da da da. Like we're all talking to each other, we're giving each other hugs, we start to drink our wine, and it's about to be a time. The day that they came was Thursday night. So they came Thursday night, everybody's getting settled, we're talking to each other, we're laughing. Like anytime we were around each other, it was a really good time because everybody was funny as hell. Not for nothing, but everybody I know personally is hilarious. So anytime we're together, we're having a good time. It's just good vibes overall. So Alara was sleeping in my room with me and Melinda was sleeping in Rumi's room, and then the friends were sleeping in the living room. Friday morning comes and we're all getting ready for us to go to Mayfest. Again, Mayfest is the one that happens during the morning and it happens on main campus. So we lived on South Campus and Mayfest was happening on main campus, but we really didn't have plans to go to main campus because we just didn't really feel like nothing important was gonna happen at Mayfest. The performer for that year during the day, like I don't think it was anybody we were interested in, so we were never gonna make it to main campus during the day at least. So what the plan was for the day was for us to go to UV, which was kind of like these apartments that was really close to South Campus, and they were also having their kind of own events for the day. So they had like vendors, they had people selling food, they had free stuff that they were giving out, they had music, and also it was mainly black people and people of color at UV. So it was more so our speed during the day. So we get up in the morning, everybody's going to take a shower, everybody's getting ready, everybody's doing their makeup. I didn't really do anything serious because at the time I wasn't doing like a full beat of makeup, not that I remember. But we get ready, we're all talking, and we are drinking. We are drinking, and boy, are we drinking. And you know what? That was the problem. The problem is that when people get together, when people start drinking, when the sun comes up and they drink until the sun goes down, that's when shit goes left, and left it went. Okay? It went down, and I blame the liquor. Because why did Melinda come to my house with cans of Four Loko? Ma'am, I'm a lady. I am a lady. She had us drinking Four Loko out of a wine glass. That was the type of person Melinda was. Okay, she was about it, and she was about it all the time. So we're drinking at like 10 a.m. and we're drinking Four Lokos with cranberry juice or whatever juice we were drinking. We're drinking tequila, we're drinking Hennessy. We are mixing, okay? We are having a time and we're making bad decisions. Yeah. We leave the house, we make it down the hill, and we go to UV. We're having a good time. Everybody's dancing. I'm taking pictures. We're having a good time. And, you know, I'm seeing people that I know. I'm seeing people that, like, you know, I haven't seen in a really long time. I'm introducing my friends to people and stuff like that. And it's just great. It's a really good time. Nothing happened during the day that's important to mention. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fast forward until later on that day. After we were done with all the festivities at UV, we all decided to go back to the apartment, freshen up, and so we could split up and head to the Carrier Dome on main campus for us to go to block party. So we go back to my apartment. We're all like freshening up, you know, putting deodorant on. We all kept the same clothes on. We're brushing our teeth. We're doing what we can, touching up makeup, all of that. And then after that, we all tell each other like what the plan was, because again, we were gonna split up. So the plan was for me and Alara to leave first, and then for Melinda and her 4 friends to leave, and Rumi was going to leave with our friend Britton. Britton kind of knows the rest of the people, like she knows them because she was really close friends with Rumi, and Rumi of course was close friends with Melinda and stuff like that. So Britton knew our friends, but she, you know what I'm saying, like she wasn't really involved in the weekend for real. So Rumi and Britton had left together, and then that was that. Alara and I get on the bus. We're talking. We're still drunk at this point. I want to say it's like 6 o'clock. I really don't remember what time block party starts. I think it starts at 8. So it's like 6:30-ish then when we get on the bus. We get on the bus. We finally get there. We scan our tickets, and then we find our seats. I feel like we had really good seats. Even though it was on the first tier, like we still had a good view of the stage and everything like that. So we're seated. We're talking to each other. We're making snaps. We're listening to the music, the DJ and stuff like that. Finally, I think SZA came on. And this is SZA's Control era, okay? This is when SZA dropped Control. And I don't care what nobody says. SOS was cute, but it's no Control. Control had the girls in a chokehold. When I tell you I was screaming my lungs out every single song, yelling to the top of my lungs, I was having a good time. SZA had me in a headlock. You see what I'm saying? She had me in a headlock. And I was just so elated because I just remember singing that song and singing, I think it was Clocks, like so loudly. And I remember singing every song that she performed because I knew it word for word and I felt all of her lyrics. I was in a bad relationship at the time. If you're not new to my channel, you've seen any of my like how I found out my boyfriend hated me stories, you know I was in a terrible relationship during college. So all of her songs kind of hit me differently, and I was just like really singing my heart out, and with my best friend, like we're having a good time. So by the time Gucci rolls around, like we're kind of cooling down a little bit, and all of a sudden I get a text from Britton. And she's like, hey girl, just letting you know that I put Rumi in an Uber because she was super drunk and I did not want her to get sick all over the place, and she really couldn't handle herself. Like there was a point where she couldn't stand, basically, is what Britton is telling me. So she said, yeah, you know, I put her in an Uber. I told her to text me when she gets home, and I'm just letting y'all know. So I said, cool, thanks. Great, we're all on the same page. And I think during the night I was kind of keeping up with everybody in the group chat to make sure we were all on the same page. So we were doing a really good job with communication. I felt like the concert was coming to a close, so I tell Alara, let's go now before the buses start to get packed. One thing about them South Campus buses, at peak time, they got packed and you had to wait for another one. You really had no choice because them bus drivers was pissed off and they really weren't trying to let like a bunch of people on the bus at the same time. So I tell Alara, let's leave and let's go. Alara and I leave the stadium. We get on the bus. It wasn't packed, thankfully. So we sit down, we get to my stop, we get off, we get in the apartment. When we got into the apartment, I opened the door to see if Rumi was okay, and she was on the bed, like passed out with her clothes still on, like light still on and everything. So I turned her light off and stuff. You know, I checked, I saw she was good. I turned her light off and I walked outside the room. So me and Alara are you kind of decompressing. We're getting undressed, we're changing and stuff like that. Still laughing, still drunk, still giggly, still off of a high of how good the day was. I hear the door open and I hear Melinda and her friends come in. So Melinda and her friends come in and they're talking, they're laughing on the same high that me and Alara are on. So me and Alara come out the room and we're like, hey, how was the concert? We're talking, asking them how everything went. They're telling us they had a good time. It was great. They love SZA. They love Gucci. Like everything was everything. And so, you know, we finally go back to our room. So me and Alara, we go back to the room and we let everybody do what they have to do. A few minutes later, like 2 minutes later, I kind of hear elevated voices. I hear people's voices get louder. And again, I'm thinking we're still drunk. So maybe, you know, people are just excited. People are just, you know, in high spirits and stuff like that. I'm not thinking anything of it except that people are still excited. That was not the case. I'm still hearing the talking, and it's getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And it's multiple voices. It's like everybody is talking in a confusion. But I'm still not thinking anything of it. All of a sudden, I hear thumping. Y'all know college dorms, college apartments, those walls are thin as hell. You can hear anything. You can hear a mouse thump thump in there. So I knew that people were hitting the wall. So Alara and I kind of stopped talking to each other. And we're like, wait.
What's going on?
We get up and we immediately walk out the door. We don't say nothing to each other. We get up and we walk out the door. As I open the door, I'm hearing what the conversation is about. And I'm hearing Melinda say, no, Rumi, get up, Rumi, get up, Rumi. I'm not playing with you, Rumi. I'm not playing with you, Rumi.
What is the tea? The girls are fighting. No!
What happened? What happened? So I see Rumi in the room. She's on the floor. There's a friend in the middle, and then Melinda is on the other side. So it's Rumi on the floor, the friend in the middle, and Melinda on the other side. Melinda's getting buck with Rumi. She's yelling at her. She's telling her to get up, and she's telling her she wants to fight her. Rumi's on the floor like, what's your problem? What's your problem? Why would you do that? I can't believe you did that. You're so weird. You're a weird ass. Like, I can't believe you did that to me. That was weird as hell. And it kind of felt like Rumi was gonna start crying, but I knew how drunk she was. I felt like she couldn't really process her emotions well at that point, which is gonna make sense. So Melinda's mad. Rumi's on the floor confused. The friend is in the middle trying to referee, and her other friends are standing outside of Rumi's bedroom. And I'm asking one of the girls, and I'm like, what happened? What's going on? She tells me that Rumi threw up in Melinda's bag, which had her birthday dress. So Melinda's only birthday dress that she bought with her to our campus and our apartment now has throw up all over it. And Rumi did it because she was that drunk. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then what happened? She tells me that when Melinda saw that Rumi was throwing up all over her dress, as soon as they opened the door, she got mad and she started taking off on her. I said, excuse me, I beg your pardon. I beg your first available pardon, actually, because what do you mean? What do you mean she started taking off on her? Of course, she didn't say the words taking off, but she said basically she started, you know, like. So I'm like, what do you mean by that? She's like, yeah, she just walked in and she started taking off on her. She grabbed her out the bed and she started hitting her. She started working her. And I was like, that's actually insane. As you can imagine, like, this is a lot for me to process. I just came from a really great concert. I'm in bed laughing with my friend. We're eating glizzies and drinking leftover Four Locos. Like, I did not expect people to be rumbling in the next room. I certainly did not expect two best friends since middle school to be rumbling in the next room over a Fashion Nova birthday dress. That's the last thing I expected. And there's no shade to the Fashion Nova birthday dresses because I didn't had a couple. But my thing was, and I'm gonna get to that later on, this could have been resolved a completely different way. So the girl is telling me the story, and again, Melinda's still in the room going at it with Rumi, and she's still yelling at her, telling the girl to get up and tell her to run it back. She wants her fade. She needs that. If she needs that, then she needs that.
You're gonna get that, okay?
So I'm saying, like, what? Like, stop. Like, wait, everybody wait. So me and Alara like, wait, chill out. Everybody chill out. And Melinda doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear that shit because now her birthday dress is ruined and she can't believe this. She is in disbelief that her friend would do this to her. So she's doing all of this, and I'm like, Melinda, this can be resolved. Like, we literally have a laundry room 3 doors down, and we did. We had a laundry room 3 doors down. Like, I said, I will pay for it. Like, I will pay for it. It's not that big of a deal. I would pay for your birthday dress, but you're not gonna fight her. You're not gonna hit this girl again. Number one, why would you think you could come to the girl's apartment building on her campus in her university and fight her? This is my shit. This is my shit. So for you to come into my apartment and thinking you could hit me, that's actually unbelievable. And I wish you would. You see what I'm saying? Not only was it her apartment, but it's also my apartment. And I'm definitely not letting you put your hands on nobody in my presence. No. So I'm like, yeah, nobody's fighting. Like, relax. It's not gonna happen. Just calm down. Like, this can be resolved. We're gonna help you fix your dress. Just chill out. She doesn't want to hear it. She's telling the girl, get up, get up, get up, get up, Rumi, get up, Rumi. So I'm like, bro, somebody needs to get her, because this is not gonna happen. She's not gonna hit her. So, you know, me and Laura are like talking to them, trying to reason with her and stuff like that. And then finally she comes out the room. I don't remember how she got out the room. I don't remember if the guy that was there got her out the room, or she just agreed to get out the room if their friend got, like, I don't remember how. I just remember at some point she got out the room. Now Rumi is finally getting up and she's confused. She looks dazed. And I go to Rumi and I'm like, bro, you good? And she's like, no, like, I can't believe she did that shit. Like, she's weird. She's a weird as, she's saying all this shit. She's like, I can't believe that, da 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 da. And I'm like, bro, what happened? And she's telling me the same story again. And she's telling me like she just started taking off on her. And also the other people in the room were telling me like, yeah, like Rumi wasn't even hitting back because she was still kind of blackout drunk. This girl, my thing is, if your friend throws up in your bag, she rolls over and she throws up in the first available bag that she sees, obviously this girl is not all there mentally. Obviously she's intoxicated to the point where she has no idea what's going on. Do you seriously think your friend would ruin your birthday dress on purpose, unprovoked, for no reason? That's weird. I mean, of course some people are weird and, you know, they do be like that. However, I just don't see why that would have been the case. So she's telling me how she was not even aware that this was happening. And one thing about it, if a putting a knuckle to your head, she's giving you a knuckle sandwich, you're getting a combo and you're getting a Mario coins knocked out of your brain, you're gonna wake up. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, dang girl, like that's crazy. So she's like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna get my stuff and I'm gonna leave. So she calls our friend Britton and she's like, hey, can I come over to your house? And she's crying at this point. She's like, can I come over to your house? And Britton is like, or did she text her? I think she texted her. She texted her and she's like, I'm gonna come over. So Britton is like, okay. I asked her if she wanted me to come with her. She said no, because Britton only lived like literally a minute away. It was literally a minute away. So she walked over to her apartment, she grabbed some of her stuff and she left. At this point, Melinda is still mad, but she's settled. She's in a corner somewhere and she's like relaxed. She's not going off anymore. She's not saying she wants to take off on the girl still. And that's that. So we kind of all go to our respective corners and that's that. Alara and I get in the room. We look at each other like, because what do you say? What do you say to that? You know what I mean? What do you say to a Four Loko Fuse night that ended up in a fight night? Like, what do you say? You can't say anything. You just have to shut up your mouth at that point. You have to be quiet because there's literally nothing to say. So, the night ends and that was that. The next day was Melinda's birthday, so we were supposed to go to her birthday dinner, and then later on we were supposed to go to the flag party. So we wake up the next morning and it is very tense in the house. It's very quiet. It's very awkward. Like, people are walking around, you know, having breakfast. They're saying good morning and stuff like that, taking showers, getting ready for the day. But nobody's really speaking because what else is there to say? What can you say, you know? So people are going about their days. And you know what's weird as hell too? Melinda was still walking around the apartment in Rumi's clothes. She was wearing her clothes as sleep clothes. She was using her products. Like, she was using everything. After you just beat the Mario coins out this girl, you gonna use her stuff? Is you cool? Like, I just don't I don't understand why she would even do that, but whatever. So we're getting ready for the day and we're getting ready for Melinda's birthday dinner. I still went to Melinda's birthday dinner because, listen, at the end of the day, like, she ain't hit me, she ain't hit my friend. And even though I thought it was weird, like, I didn't want to immediately just be like, you know what, F this girl and da 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 da. And so I just went to the girl's birthday dinner, like, whatever. So I went to her birthday dinner with her friends. Obviously, Rumi did not come and she did not come back home that day. And so we're at the birthday dinner, we're at hibachi, and it's still quiet. It's still awkward. It's still tense. Nobody's really saying anything. And start speaking again until everybody got a little bit of drinks in their system. But even then, it was still awkward. And you know what? I really do like hibachi. So the fact that the meal was ruined, the fact that my hibachi was ruined because of some tension and because of some shit that could have been avoided, it really pissed me off. Because there go Melinda sitting at the end of the table in the dress that she what? She washed in the washing room, just as I thought she was going to. Why did you do all of that? Y'all know them Fashion Nova dresses that's kind of like spandex material. It's like very stretchy, but it's kind of like tight to your body at the same time. This was the dress she had. And it's no shade. It's no shade once again, because I have bought a 1-2 Fashion Nova birthday dress. But my whole point was the dress could have been easily washed and been renewed. This wasn't a dress that had a bunch of feathers. It wasn't satin. It wasn't silk. It didn't have Swarovski crystals on it. It wasn't diamonds all over it. It wasn't anything like that. It was just a standard dress. So why did you put your hands on your friend? Huh? And quickly, why'd you do it? So there we are at dinner, eating, and we all get up and we all leave and we go back to my apartment. So now everybody's getting, changed and relaxed and stuff like that. Well, they're relaxing, and I had to go ahead and I had to get ready to go to main campus because, again, I'm on the e-board. I have to leave before everybody else. Our team had to talk to security and make sure they all kind of knew what the situation was for that night and stuff like that. So because I had to leave early, I give Alara her tickets and I tell her like where to meet me. I tell her what the situation is. I leave, I go to Britain's apartment for us to pregame, and we were also going to leave together because our friend was going to pick us up and take us to main campus because she was also a part of the e-board. So I walk over to Britain's apartment. She opens the door and I'm like, hey girl. And she's like, hey. So she's still getting dressed and stuff like that. And I sit down and I'm like, hey Rumi. And she's like, hey girl. So Rumi kind of looks better, but she looks definitely sad. She looks defeated. And she's kind of explaining to me now that she's sober what happened, or at least what she remembers happening that night. And again, she tells me like, she was sleeping, and I guess she said, I guess I must have threw up in the girl's bag. I didn't know her bag was on the floor. I didn't know her birthday dress was in her bag when I did that. And when she walked in, she saw me doing it and she took off on me. She dragged me out the bed. I wasn't fighting back. I was shocked the whole time until so-and-so came to break it up. So she's telling me that, and I'm like, damn, like that's really, really crazy. Brayden is in the corner going off because she's like, weird. I can't believe she did that. Obviously, Brayden is drunk. Obviously, Rumi is drunk. Brayden knew that Rumi was drunk because, again, she texted me while we were at the stadium and she said, hey girl, I put her in the Uber. She's out of here. She's done. So my whole thing is, and Brayden's whole thing was, why would you do that to your friend when you could tell she was clearly blackout drunk? Not only that, but you knew, because I was keeping everybody up to date. I told them that she had left before we left. I had everybody in the loop. You knew your friend was not in the right mental space and you still did that to her. I think that's weird. I think you're strange. Yeah, I think you're strange. So that happened. We're talking, we're pre-gaming, and then after that, the three of us leave. Even though Rumi wasn't part of our organization, like she obviously wasn't going to stay in the apartment by herself, and she wasn't going to leave with the rest of them. So she left with us. So we get on campus, we're talking to security, we're settling the situation, and then the party starts. Alara texted me when she was on her way with everybody else. She finally gets there. The party isn't like full mode at this point. It's completely packed. It was a completely sold out party. Everybody was excited. Everybody's dancing. Everybody got their flags. Like, it's a really, really good time. I was mostly up on the stage with the DJ and stuff like that during that whole time. We all had t-shirts, so you could tell who was part of the organization and who wasn't. So I was standing up with the DJ with the rest of my team the whole time. But I could see where Alara was and I could see where her friends were because they were kind of off to a corner a little bit. And I could see them. It didn't look like they were having fun at all. It kind of looked like everybody was miserable and the energy was still down. Like, if you look to the left, you could see a big group of people just having fun, dancing, like turning up, stuff like that with their flags, throwing their flags in the air, all types of stuff. And then you look to your far right and you see this very, 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 very small group of people just quiet, just standing. Not really dancing, just standing. And let me tell you something. Melinda is a partier. Melinda, she will take you to a party. Melinda will dance at a party. Melinda will be the life of the party, actually. So the fact that she wasn't dancing, like, I knew shit was a lock off, dead off. Like, they were done. They were done for the weekend because of everything that happened. So at some point, I get off the stage and I go dance with Alara because at the end of the day, my friend ain't do nothing. She has nothing to do with y'all got going on. So I'm going to make sure she has fun. So I'm dancing with her. I'm dancing on her and stuff like that. I'm doing all this shit. Like, she's dancing on me. Like, we're having a good time. We're taking snaps. Like, I'm making sure my girl is good. And before the party ended, Melinda and her friends just left. They told me they were leaving. They were going back to the apartment. So I gave them the key and they left. And they just went back. And so then it was just me and Alara and the rest of my team. So the party ends. And then they said, like, we have this after party at this fraternity. Like, let's go. We all pile up in the car, including Alara, and we go to the fraternity. Get to the fraternity, y'all already know. Y'all know the drill. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. So I asked Laura, I'm like, yeah, girl, you want to stay here? Like, you good? She's like, nah, I'm really tired, kind of. Like, I could go home. Like, it's okay. So me and Laura, we say bye to everybody. We call an Uber, and we go back to my apartment. Get in, take a shower, get in bed, and we just go to sleep because it had been a very, very long day. Next morning, I wake up, and I get a text message from Rumi. And Rumi goes, hey girl, can you let Melinda and her friends know that I want them out of my apartment by 12 p.m. I want them gone. I don't want them there. I want to come back to my bed and I don't want to see them. Well, okay then. I understand. I respect it, sister. Because if it was me and it was my apartment, y'all wouldn't even be here now. The fact that she left and left them in the apartment, I felt like that was commendable of her because I would have told them to beat it, to skedaddle, to dip, get gone. All of that. But she texted me. She told me that she wanted them gone. So I look at Laura. I show her the text message and she's like, damn. And she's like, well, you know, if they have to leave, then I'm going to have to leave too because, you know, those are my friends and we're all going to the same campus. So like, I'm going to have to leave soon. So I said, okay, that's fine. Like, I completely understand. So I get up. Alara starts to pack her bags. And then I go to the room next door. I knock on the door. Again, Rumi is still in this girl's bed. Lounging in her bed. Lounging in her clothes. She's on her phone. She's using her charger. As if she didn't just put her hands on this girl 48 hours ago. Where'd they do that at? So I say, hey, Rumi. And she's... all these names. I say, hey, Melinda, Rumi wants you to leave. You gotta go. You and your friends, you have to leave. So, you and Biggie.
You gotta go. Like, today. And Biggie.
So she's like, oh, okay, no problem, I understand. So then that was that. I close the door, I go back in my room, and I sit down. Because what else am I gonna do? Everybody starts packing up their things. They start to gather their things, and they leave. They get gone. And I text Rumi, and I tell her, you know, they left. So she says, okay, like, that's fine. So she comes back to the apartment, and they left that apartment a mess. Like, literally, like, plates, cups, like, garbage everywhere in my kitchen. And my whole thing is, I feel like personally when I go to people's houses and I go to people's campuses and I go to people's spaces, I always clean up after myself. I actually help them clean up after themselves too because I'm a very, very good guest. But I felt like that weekend they came to our house and they just kind of like ruined it and they really didn't care how they left it. But that's neither here nor there. So that weekend is over with, and then let's fast forward to later on. As far as I know, that was the last time that Melinda and Rumi spoke to each other. I don't think they ever rekindled their friendship. I don't even think they ever spoke about the situation after that. Their friendship was just done. It was just completely done. I don't know if Melinda tried to reach out to Rumi and apologize or talk to her or anything like that. Like, I genuinely don't know. We've had this conversation multiple times, and by we, I mean me and Melinda, and then also me and Rumi separately. But I don't remember what was said or what happened, if there was any reconciliation. All I remember is that a few years ago, and I'm talking like 2 years ago, I was at Melinda's house because she was roommates with Alara. And I'm sitting there at their dining room and I'm talking to them. And somehow the conversation of that weekend and of that event comes up. And all of a sudden Melinda tells me like, yeah, like the real reason why I took off on her and the real reason I was going off on her is because she started talking shit about my mama. When did that happen? Because I don't remember anything like that. All I remember is you getting mad and you saying that she threw up on your dress. So you want that. You need that. That's all I remember. I don't remember anything said of mamas. I don't remember nothing like that. So I'm like, what? Like, when did that happen? She's like, yeah, like, you know, when this was happening and she was drunk and stuff like that, like she was talking about my mama. So I was like, oh, okay. This is news. This is a new revelation to me. And to this day, I don't know if I believe Melinda. No shade, but it's like, I feel like personally, if I was going off and I was going that hard on somebody and people thought it was just about my birthday dress, I would clarify and I'd be like, no, she's crossing boundaries. She's saying things that's inappropriate. This is somebody who's known me for my whole life. My mom treats her like a daughter. So why would she start talking about my mom when we get into it? I would have clarified. I would have cleared shit up. You know what I mean? But she didn't. So now you're telling me all these years later that that's why y'all really get into it. Huh, it's weird. It's not really adding up. That's just me personally. And I feel like if that was me in the situation, with the whole birthday dress situation. If I was the one whose birthday dress was ruined, quote unquote, I would not have reacted that way. I think I would have been upset, and I probably would have yelled at my friend a little bit just out of natural human reaction. However, I definitely wouldn't have put my hands on her, and I definitely wouldn't have continued, because one thing's for sure and two things for certain: somebody who's that drunk is not going to be able to have a coherent conversation with you. They're just not going to. It's no point in wasting my breath. And number 4, I'm a very solution oriented person. Like, if something happens, my first thought is, how am I going to get my dress fixed? My thought is not, oh my God, like, let me just take off on my friend. What is that solving? What is that solving? You see what I'm saying? Did you put in the beats on your homegirl fix your birthday dress in the moment? Did it? Of course it didn't. Anyway, I just felt like it could have been handled a different way. Obviously, like, you know, if it's my birthday, I really don't want nobody messing up my dress, obviously. But it just didn't need to go that far. You know what I mean? And I just felt like Melinda was wrong in the way that she reacted. She could have given her friend some grace, I feel like, personally. But let me know how y'all feel about the situation. Like, what would you have done in the situation if you were Melinda, and what would you have done if you were Romy? Like, how would you handle this situation? Has anything like this ever happened to you or your friends before? And let me know how y'all got past it, if you ever got past it and stuff like that. And also let me know, like, what the boundaries are for your friendship. For me personally, I don't put my hands on my friends. I don't call them out their names. I don't put my hands on them. I don't say anything to attack their self-esteem, their self-confidence. And I don't think mean and nasty things about my friends. And I don't say it, definitely. So I feel like those are my boundaries, and my biggest boundary is putting my hands on somebody. I feel like once you put your hands on somebody, you're done. You're done. Y'all are not siblings. Siblings fight all the time. They get over it. Y'all are not siblings. You guys are friends. You have a trust in each other. So if I put my hands on you and you put your hands on me, that's done. Lock off. See you later. Don't talk to me ever. Ever. So yeah, that's how I feel about the situation. And let me know how y'all feel. And yeah, that's the end of my story. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe and join the gang. Because you watch the whole video, you might as well stick around. Follow me on all my socials. That is TikTok and Instagram. It is linked in the description box down below. I will see you guys in the next one. I love you so much. Bye.